what are the pros and cons of a face-to-face meeting versus online, emails, or a phone call?
Conference calls are very easy to become anonymous on, and I've noticed the time I've sat on a conference call and you just are drifting away, you're just doing email, you're not really concentrating on what's going on the call. Face-to-face meeting, I'm looking at you eyeball to eyeball. I can't get away from that. Team meetings, even face-to-face, are important, but I think you need that one-to-one time as well. One of the trends I've noticed is people still sitting in a sales meeting, in a group meeting, doing their email or checking their Blackberries. That kind of stuff isn't really good, and you're not getting in, you're not communicating with them under those circumstances. So you need to make sure there's some etiquette around that in sales meetings, that those things don't happen.
Rick, we're going to shift a bit and talk about coaching in sales meetings. One of the critical skills a sales manager must have is to be able to rally the troops, especially important in today's environment. You have to be able to create a scenario of both learning and motivation. How do you combine the two?
I think you combine the two by not combining the two. I think you need to take those two elements and separate them. And wherever possible in a sales meeting, I would want the sales manager and either one of his senior sales team or possibly somebody even on the elsewhere on the management team, the managing director or a senior general manager of some sort, to be involved in that process so that they can split the meeting, so that you can have the team sessions, the education and the group coaching going on with one group, and individuals being taken out to have a one-to-one session with the sales manager or with the senior manager, so that they can there go over deal reviews, but also how is that individual doing. There are times you want to be able to praise everybody in front of the group, but there's times that maybe you want to talk about the tough questions, you want to do that in private. So I do think you need, for those kinds of meetings to really be effective, to have the group ethos, bringing the team together. You need to have those team sessions, but the one-to-one needs to happen at the same time. You don't want to take people off the road for too much time, because that's where they're being successful. So you want to combine both of those things. And so I'd say make it a team tag. Make sure that the sales manager, if he's a really charismatic person, maybe you need to have him in the team sessions, and the senior manager maybe focusing in on the one-to-ones. It's not just the sales manager on his own.
Tell us, how do you keep control of that salesperson who's a high performer, opinionated, and wants to have his say, wants to hear his or her own voice in the sales meeting?
What I've done in the past with individuals like that is I've put them in charge of the meeting. I've given them a segment of the meeting that's given them an opportunity to sound off and to make their opinions known, but box them into that part. Give them a very tight brief. This is what I want you to cover, and coach and mentor them. They are an important part of the team, and they can be a very powerful force, because if they do like the sound of their own voice, then quite often people will be listening to them.
Tell me, do you have an example of a sales meeting that you attended, or maybe one that you ran, that blew the reps away in terms of the value it gave them?
I think of something that was a bit unusual that really gave them some value, and you had a sheet of questions that you managed to furnish them with to help them to progress and open deals. We then took an opportunity to bus everybody from the sales meeting venue out to a trade show, and gave them an opportunity to walk around the trade show, look at their competitors, look at our suppliers, and then bring them back the next day and review how you're going to apply those to customers, and what did you learn from walking around the show yesterday. That wasn't the normal format for a sales meeting. So, as I say, if you can make a sales meeting atypical, it'll stand out in their minds. And if you can make it have value to them, then they'd appreciate it, because they are giving up their time on the road. And for them, time on the road is time that they're selling. Time they're selling is time that they're earning. Time that they're earning is what they're there for. So if you're taking people off the road, you need to give them some value back that helps them be even more successful once they go back out on the road.